Welcome to the Vegan Pulse, the podcast where compassionate individuals from around the globe share their personal journeys into veganism and discuss their ongoing efforts to promote this ethical lifestyle, with your host, Nancy Arenas.
Welcome to the Vegan Pulse, the podcast that brings you stories from individuals worldwide about their journey into veganism and their current efforts to promote this ethical lifestyle. My name is Nancy Arenas. I am your host, and my guest today is Michael Prikryl. Michael, also known as Piano Mike, is a multifaceted artist with international presence. He was born in the Czech Republic and raised in southern Germany. Michael's music defies genre boundaries, blending elements of art rock, progressive, pop, jazz, and blues. He is also a public and motivational speaker who engages audiences on diverse topics, including veganism, spirituality, motivation, vegan travel, relationships, and communication. Michael also serves as the regional organizer for Anonymous for the Voiceless. And additionally, he shares his insights as a contributor and talk show host on Unchainedtv. Stick around. I want to introduce him to you three. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Nancy. How are you?
Okay. Tell our viewers where you're from right now and how is it there in the vegan movement?
So I'm currently based in the Czech Republic for most of the time. Sometimes I travel to the United States, West Coast, and stay there for several months. So right now, in the Czech Republic, veganism is pretty strong, especially in the last few years. It's been getting stronger, lots more activism, and also more and more vegan products. It's unfortunately still not as good as in Germany in terms of the products. But as far as restaurants go, Prague is on the top of the list in Europe with over 50 vegan restaurants.
Wow, that is awesome. That is so awesome. Now, can you tell me what inspired you to go vegan and how it has affected your life?
So it's been a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I've actually had some vegan friends from early on in the early 2000s. And so I was always impressed about the vegan food they were already making. Like back then, I remember a New York cheesecake in vegan version. That was absolutely the best cheesecake I've ever had. And then later, about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, a really good friend of mine who was vegetarian at the time and also went vegan like a few months before I went vegan, inspired me. We started talking about this, and then I watched Earthlings. And that evening, I stopped eating meat right away. And a few months later, I went vegan fully, especially after watching Gary Yourofsky's best speech.
Yeah, he's one of my heroes. I love him.
Yeah, mine too.
I like the fact that he's straight to the point, no apologies. Here's the truth. Like it or not, this is what it is.
He speaks up for the animals as if he wanted to be spoken up for, if he was in their position, and I think that's what all of us should do.
Exactly. Now, tell me, how do you use your music to raise awareness about animal rights and veganism?
So I wrote 5 vegan songs by now in the last 3-4 years. I got inspired to do this because, well, I'm a big music aficionado, you could say, and I remember Live 8 back in 1985, which was a huge concert for an USA for Africa, which actually on some level helped the cause back then, and even politicians started considering the issue. And so I thought, okay, this can work for veganism too. So of course it's about promoting the songs and all that. So I wrote songs with a strong message, and I hope to spread the message this way.
That is so great when people have their own talents and then they just come in and mix their veganism advocacy in it to just further the cause.
Absolutely, because music and all art can move mountains. I mean, it touches our emotions, and so this is where we want to sort of get started with the emotions of people, because that's when the biggest change occurs.
I truly believe it. Whether it's song or art prints or drawings, posters, whatever, I think that those are, like you said, they connect people. Just art connects people, no matter what language, no matter what ethnicity, what religion. It just speaks to you.
Absolutely.
So tell me, so you're also a motivational speaker. So you talk about veganism, spirituality, and a couple of other topics. Tell me about that.
Yes. So here and there, I speak at veg fests or any other events, and with focusing on topics now also on spirituality, because that's important also for the vegan community to be strong, to stay strong, to not burn out. Focusing also on communication. I've done a talk at VCOP about communication, and also traveling, because I'm a traveler, sort of a perpetual traveler, and I used to live in Southern Oregon, California, Florida, Canada. So how you can utilize all the resources that we have currently, which are really easy compared to several decades ago, how you can utilize those for an easy experience when you're traveling.
That is great. And you're also a contributor to Unchainedtv.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sometimes I do lives for Unchainedtv. The last one I did was from the AV United Cube in Prague, just May 4th this year, and it's great. It's great to work for Jane, and she's one of my heroes. What she does is truly amazing. When she built up this network about vegan news, and
absolutely,
and the app is great. So yeah.
Right. So tell me, what advice would you give to aspiring vegan advocates? Those people like yourself who want to make a difference.
Right. Well, I think one of the most important things is to stay effective. So kind of work out a strategy, not just blindly say, oh, everything works, and then just go whatever you think it works, but already see where there's a track record, what works, and if it aligns with your way of doing activism, then do that, or try something new, and see if it works, obviously, because we have no time to waste on just trying things. We actually want to do it as effectively as possible.
Most certainly. So what are your current, I know that you're also organizer or area director for Anonymous for the Voiceless.
Yes.
How do people react to that when you go out there?
Yeah, so we get a lot of positive reactions, actually. Occasionally we get some trolls or people that are just close-minded, and the trick is that we figured this out a few years ago, and then we put this into our outreach protocol. It's to not even talk to the trolls, to not waste time on the trolls, but focus on the open-minded people. And with those, we get really tremendous reactions. Like, some people go vegan on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Some people really let out their emotions. Some people are sort of convinced, right? I mean, they convinced themselves during the conversation, but they may need some time to think about it. lot of people that walk by, and even though personally they might not go vegan, but they applaud us for being out there for what we're doing. So it's been more and more positive, and the amount of close-minded people is actually getting less and less.
I think to agree. I agree. Because what I see is the same thing, that there's more and more people opening their curiosity, at least, to saying, maybe this isn't just a trend. Maybe I should look
Right.
at it a little bit, and things like that, Is that what you find?
Yeah. Yeah. Even in smaller cities, like the city I live in, Olomouc, Czech Republic, which is 2.5 train hours east of Prague and north of Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
It's, even though it's a university town, once you get out there, outside the city, you get a lot of people from the countryside. But even in this city, we get more open people now these days. And then we're waiting for, we used to have 2 raw vegan restaurants and then another vegan restaurant, they closed. Now we're hoping soon a vegan chain restaurant will open here in this town. It's called Four Keys, and it's been successful all over the country. It's partially fast food, but partially also slow food. So like really healthy bowls and things like that.
Okay. Let me ask you a question now. In your day-to-day life, right? And what you do day to day, you are a web designer. Is that what you are?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. How do people contact you, and what kind of services you offer? Because vegans are always looking to connect with other like-minded individuals in what they're doing. I know I am.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, I've been doing web design, believe it or not, for over 20 years. I got into it sort of as in German we would say Quereinsteiger, sort of a sidetracking thing. I studied English and communications, but my dad used to be a software engineer, and so that's how I got into computers. I'm not the big programmer, but I know front end very well. So I do WordPress websites. I know a little bit of PHP, so I can maneuver very well there. I also do search engine optimization and Google Ads. So pretty much the whole package, actually. When you need a website, you can get the full package, including consulting, and then also, after the fact maintenance and things like that. And even a little bit, some small graphic design things too.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, I know as a vegan, I would rather go to another vegan with some service. So I like to promote other people who are vegan and their services, because why hire someone else? Why not hire someone who is in line with our view of what the world should be, a kinder world?
Exactly. And I've already had a couple of vegan clients, which I'd rather prefer that too, because then you don't have to deal with the carnist aspects of certain things, because that can get kind of tricky sometimes.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Michael. And if you'd like
so much.
And if you'd like to leave us with some inspirational words, I would love that.
Inspirational words.
Motivational, inspirational, get out there.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's the key word, getting out there. Our movement is, relatively speaking, so small compared to any other social justice or any other movement that fights injustice, that we need every single voice. I always say, if every vegan would speak up for the animals, we'd have a vegan world in no time. So, I understand you love collecting recipes. Lots of people love collecting recipes and sharing products, but like, to me personally, that's secondary. If I can get by without the vegan cake, without the vegan ice cream, I'd rather do that and speak up for the animals, because they need us most. They have no other movement, while human injustices have so many voices. So get out there, become active.
And so I totally agree. I mean, I think that veganism is a social justice movement because it has so many different parts to it, that includes humans and your health and the climate, but mainly it's about, stopping the oppression, the torture,
Yes.
and the suffering that has been allowed for so long of the animals who only have our voices. So, like you said, it's great to have a vegan recipe, but it's more great, if that's a thing, or it's greater to say, hey, do you know that chickens sing to their babies when they're, in the nest or whatever, or the ducks, they pluck out their own feathers to kind of cushion the nest where they're going to lay their eggs, and then they kind of hum to the babies. So, in other words, connecting and letting people see animals have these feelings and these emotions just like us, just like a cat, just like a dog, and that we need to kind of raise that up so that people think twice about what they're doing when they're saying, I'm going to have bacon, and, instead think, oh man, she's a mother, or that baby, it's a baby, that kind of connect the emotion to the animals.
Absolutely, and using the correct language, so avoiding all these euphemisms, including he or she and not it for that. So because subconsciously it makes a big difference when we normalize peace again. So unnormalize the violence, normalize peace. The language actually will help with us by saying that, hey, this is vegan cheese. It's not fake cheese. It's vegan cheese. It's a vegan version of meat, or so that those kind of things. No substitute.
Right.
It's not an alternative. Alternative to most people sounds like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get into that. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. So we don't want to use these words. We just want to use vegan version, cruelty-free cheese, or something like that.
Exactly. I think that is most important. Well, again, thank you, Michael, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I'll stay in touch. I'll share your information, and I'll send you a clip once it's done.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Vegan Pulse. Remember, you have a pulse, therefore you have a purpose. Live vegan.
Thank you for joining us on Vegan Pulse, where we've shared remarkable journeys and ongoing efforts of compassionate individuals worldwide. These stories inspire and empower, urging you to embrace a vegan lifestyle and contribute to a more compassionate, sustainable world. Remember, your choices matter, and together we propel the vegan movement forward. Keep advocating, making a positive impact, and pulsing with compassion. Until next time.